Alright, we're going to talk a little bit about starting hands in these micro no limit games that I'm playing on Cake for the Bankroll Builder project. I'm playing between 4 and 8 tables when I'm playing these games. That means I play tight, I'm aggressive when I have a hand, I make sure to keep myself out of trouble situations. And part of that is to play very tight pre-flop. When you have 8 tables running, you don't have time to make a lot of tough decisions involving 8s in early position when somebody's just throwing a re-raise at you. That's a situation you don't want to end up in, because while you're paying attention to that, situations may pop up at another table that you miss, and a small misstep, as you probably know, in no limit can cost you an awful lot of money. So these are the starting hand requirements that I recommend for the 10 cent, 20 cent, and anything smaller games that I've been playing on Cake to help with the Bankroll Builder project. I have found a very good hourly rate in those games so far, and I think that I'll find an even better hourly rate as I have time to put in a few more hours. Having been on vacation for over 2 weeks, I haven't had a lot of time lately, but now I'm going to start putting in more time. So I've set up a table here. I'm using the hand replayer that we had made for us with skin, and it says full tilt up here because I use the full tilt language. It's the easiest language to write hand histories in. So that's what I use when I'm writing hand histories, creating a setup situation. But this example is written from my experience on Cake and will probably work at the micro limits anywhere. We start out under the gun with a pair of 10s. That means if you get a pair of 9s under the gun, you're going to fold it. There are times to adjust a default set of rules, tighter or looser, depending on the game. Generally, if you adjust these, it will be looser, but at times it won't be, especially in the later positions. At times you may want to play much tighter when people are re-raising all the time. The only notes I really take on tables in those games, in the micro-limit games, and I'm playing lots of tables, is how passive or aggressive is the table pre-flop. Those are usually the only thing you have time to really note about your table. You may have some notes on specific players, but about your table you usually will only be able to note that one thing. And that tells you how tight or loose you're going to want to play pre-flop and how you're going to want to play the hands you do play. But in a typical situation, you're going to want to throw away 9s under the gun. You might make a couple of pennies per hand playing 9s under the gun. You will experience more variance playing them, and you probably just get yourself in trouble. And so until you're a more experienced player, don't bother with them. Stick with 10s or better, and that means 10s or a bigger pair or ace-king. Then I go to ace-queen suited on the next seat, and that's ace-queen suited, ace-king suited, 10s or a bigger pair. Then I add in 9s here, so it's 9s or bigger pair and ace-queen suited. Then ace-queen offsuit in the next seat. Then I drop down to 7s. We're getting into late position, and as we get into later positions, each person that drops is dropping a much bigger percentage of the players who are left. So with 9 players, when this guy folded, it only dropped 11% of the players that are left still to act. So this guy can't loosen up all that much. But if you're in this position and this guy folds, suddenly there are only 2 players left to act. So 25% of the available players have now dropped out compared to being in this position as compared to being in this position. So it's a much bigger difference. That's why the requirements loosen up so quickly as we come around the corner here toward the button. So we have a pair of 7s here. And along with this pair of 7s, somewhere between queen 10 suited and ace queen, you'll have to kind of make some decisions in this area as to what big cards you want to play. If the blinds are very tight, if the blinds are very weak players, or if people are overplaying bad aces, then you may want to go down as far as ace 10 even here. Certainly ace jack would play here, but maybe ace 10 as well. Maybe king queen here. But this is assuming there's no one else in the pot.